Welcome into Red's Reality Podcast, where I, your host, Josh Razauskas, bring you reality as I see it on all things your Cincinnati Reds. And man, was that a fun one last night or what? We got so much to talk about. Big win, 5-3 over the wannabe Jolly Rogers, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Man, oh man. Ellie De La Cruz on his bobblehead night, grand freaking slam home run, had a single in front of him, and then two hit batters followed it, and man, that was awesome. So awesome that he got that chance, and not only did he get that chance and cash in on it, but the other big part of it is it was from the right-hand side. We all know that he's made a very big effort this year to improve his hitting from the right-hand side, and boy, did that pay off in this at-bat with this grand slam home run. Absolutely ended up being the deciding factor in this game. Was just an awesome thing for him. It didn't go very far compared to most of his home runs, but who cares? At the end of the day, it was a grand freaking slam. That is the definition of stepping up, and that was the turning point in this game for sure. And then the other big takeaways, Noelvi Marte was in the lineup for the first time since being called back up, and in this one, he was fantastic defensively. I mean, just unbelievably fantastic. He was making plays at third base I've never seen him play. And Barry Larkin on the broadcast was talking about how in Louisville he was, and I think in spring training as well, he was playing a lot of shortstop again. And if you don't know, he came up as a shortstop in the Seattle Mariners organization before the Castillo trade. So I think that actually helped him get loose and help him return to an athletic mindset, because he was making plays at third base like Ellie De La Cruz makes plays at shortstop. So that was awesome to see. He didn't do anything at the plate, but his glove was just absolutely fantastic in this game. Unbelievable. So if that's what we're going to get from Noelvi Marte, and he starts to produce at the plate in the next couple of days, what in the world are they going to do? They're probably going to have to send down, as much as I would hate it because I love him as a person, that piece with his gender reveal of being girl dad with the whole team there was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. But Jacob Hurtubise will probably be the one to be sent down if Noelvi Marte continues to prove that he belongs up here. Because Will Benson was already optioned back down for Andrew Abbott, who we're about to get into. So it's probably going to be Hurtubise. But man, you have to keep him up if his bat does even half of what his glove was doing last night in Noelvi Marte. Best I've ever seen him look. And then we had the long-anticipated return of Andrew Abbott, who, of course, started spring training a bit late. So they just kind of treated this like an extended spring training after that little bit of shoulder soreness that he had to begin spring training. That's why he was on the IL. And we talked about it before. Tito is all about making sure that the guys right now are stretched out to 100 pitches before they ever throw a major league pitch. He wants his starters to be able to go deep in games if they can be effective with the command. Didn't quite make it there. I think he threw 83 pitches. I don't have the stat line in front of me. That's my bad. I should have pulled up the box score. But I think it was somewhere between 83 to 85 pitches. And he wasn't fantastic. Like, it by far was not the best we've ever seen Andrew Abbott look in a Reds uniform, but he was solid. He only went deep in the counts early on, and he got a lot of ground balls. And that's what you want Andrew Abbott to do. And for our first start, he was a little bit wild, like I said in the beginning, sure, but if he's doing ground balls and he's able to give you 5 strong innings at just under 90 pitches, I mean, that's exactly what you want from Andrew Abbott. So, yeah. Or was it actually in the 70s? Again, I apologize. I should have pulled up the box score. But now I'm thinking it was actually more like 73 to 75 pitches. I honestly can't remember. Next time, I promise I will remember to pull up the box score if we have to highlight a pitcher this much in the show. But I thought for his first start, he was absolutely tremendous. He really was. And I'm so happy to have him be a starter on this team again. And think about the pitching depth yet again. Think about how deep it goes, because we're talking about Andrew Abbott having this good of a season debut, and we're talking about him being your number 5 starter. Andrew Abbott is your number 5 starter. This guy would easily be a number 3 on most major league squads right now. So the fact that he's your number 5, and the fact that Rhett Lauder is not even here yet, ready to go in the major leagues this year, that means Nick Martinez is likely going to go back in the bullpen if Andrew Abbott continues to be that effective. So it was just really, really well done by him. The bullpen was great behind him yet again. Another solid outing from the bullpen. You had Ashcraft deliver 2 innings, and then you had Santillan deliver the 7th in front of him, and Emilio Pagan nailed it down. And it was good to see Santillan rebound from a not so great day on Friday for him. Friday. No, I had it right. Friday for him was a not so great outing. So it's good to see him rebound last night on Saturday. And then Emilio Pagan, he's making a case where Alexis Diaz comes back. Alexis Diaz is not the closer of this team, because Emilio Pagan is just settled into that role and been really good. I think that he is like 2nd in the National League. Yeah, that is true. I'm looking at Baseball Savant right now. He is 2nd in the National League right now and saves early on. So I don't see how you can take him out of that role. He's been so effective. So this was just an awesome game to watch last night on Ellie De La Cruz bobblehead night. So let's find out right now, through the magic of editing, how we did this afternoon against the Pirates. Do we have the opportunity to get our first sweep of the year? Of course, we have the opportunity, but what I meant to say is, did we actually take advantage of the opportunity? Did we sweep the Pirates? Let's find out. How sweep it is! We won today 4-0, which means that for the first time this year, your Cincinnati Reds have a sweep over the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we now sit once again at 500 baseball at an 8-8 season over 16 games. So what are the takeaways from this game? Well, first one, Santiago Espinal continues to step up and step up and step up. This is a guy who has had way more playing time this year because of the injury to Matt McLean with the hamstring issue. And just wherever you put this guy, whether it's third, second, short, outfield, he has just produced. And he produced a big 2-run hit today. Ellie got another RBI single. I forget who was responsible for the 4th run, honestly, but Espinal also came up with a great defensive play. So Santiago really the star of this game by far. And what we've seen is just guys starting to figure out what their roles are from an offensive standpoint. I don't think that they're pressing nearly as much. There's a few guys that are still are. Jamer Candelario, probably the biggest example. But there are guys, for the most part, I think, that are not really pressing out there as much. And it's showing that they're starting to come into their element and not really worry too much about what the rest of the lineup is doing. And that causes the lineup to be more even keel. And that's how we've been able to put a little bit of a winning streak together. That and great defense. Defense like what we saw today from Santiago Espinal, like what we saw yesterday from Noelvi Marte, like what we've seen from Blake Dunn at times this year. That is how you win ball games, especially close ball games. And I really, really enjoyed today's efforts on the offensive side of the ball. And then Hunter does it again. My oh my, did he do it again. 7 strong innings this time. A combined 2-hitter from Hunter Green, Ian Jabot, and Tony Santillan over the 9 innings. The first pitch of the ball game from Hunter Green hit 100 miles an hour. And we talked about it when we talked about the game they had against the Giants last week. He's becoming a pitcher. He's not just a thrower. That splitter has been on point when he's needed it, and the slider is just doing so much more damage because instead of it being a grip where it's meant to go down, it's truly having that sweep motion where it's going from left to right. And when you do that, it's just a really dangerous pitch on top of having a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And Hunter said it himself today during the Reds Live post-game show. He said that he really feels like he is now a pitcher who can throw any pitch in any count at any time. And when you do that, man, oh man, nobody's going to touch you if you're Hunter Green. And you are one of the early leaders for Cy Young this year if he keeps this up. This is super, super exciting stuff. So a lot of momentum to carry in to an off day tomorrow on Monday. And then we're back at it as the Seattle Mariners come to town, who currently are 7-8. I believe they have their off day today, since they are the ones traveling. However, I could be wrong. They could be setting at 500 before they come into Great American on Tuesday. But nonetheless, they are 7-8 at the time of the ending of today's Sunday ball game. So very, very even teams and very, very even pitching staff. Apologies if my sound quality changes at all. I just had to turn on the digital noise reduction tool because I'm no longer alone in my house at the time that I'm wrapping up this recording toward the end of this episode. So I'm just doing it to avoid the background noise leaking into the audio. But like I mentioned before, when I had to use it, it is a bit of a strong effect, and it does change the voice tone just a little bit. So I do apologize if you notice anything there. But if you don't know, the strength of Seattle Mariners is also their starting pitching. They have George Kirby, even though he's out right now and being replaced by Hancock. And then you've got a starting pitching core of Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Bryce Miller, and Brian Wu. And the Reds will see Castillo, Miller, and Wu in this series. That's right, La Piedra himself, Luis Castillo, will be returning to the mound at Great American Ballpark for the first time in his career as a visiting player, because I believe the last time Seattle came in to Cincinnati, he did not pitch, if my memory serves me correctly. But I'm almost 99% sure that is the case. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of reception. I expect nothing but a good reception for La Piedra on Tuesday night, and should be a lot of fun. And unfortunately, today we have to close out today's episode with the news that Reds Hall of Famer and legend Tommy Helms has passed away. Tommy was a great player for the Reds in the 70s, was actually the guy that was responsible for Joe Morgan becoming a Cincinnati Red, as he was involved with that trade with the Houston Astros. So even though he wore the Houston Astro uniform for a time there, he was a Red through and through, watched all the Reds games, served as Reds interim manager twice in his career, and according to his family and friends, always had his Reds gear on, just like us, every single day, and wore his Reds shirts and hats and jackets till the day he died. And anytime we lose a Hall of Famer, it's just a wonderfully sad thing to see, because we know that they're in a better place, but it's sad for all of us who mourn him as fans and all of his friends and family. So send your best thoughts and your well wishes out to the great Tommy Helms and his family. We are going to let today's episode end with a silent screen that will feature Tommy Helms. I do not know how the end screen is going to be affected. I'm going to do my best to get all of the elements around the Tommy Helms photo to not cover it up too much or be too disruptive, since I'll be replacing that with the normal Reds Reality Podcast end screen. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing the next 2 days. I don't think it's going to be until Wednesday that you see me, because of course I can't do night games day of, but I'll probably do something on one of the off days, whether it's me or whether I'm able to get a guest on here for the first time. There are a couple of people who've said that they might want to try to come on with me, so we'll see if I can coordinate that with people's schedules and make that work out for you. So keep your eyes on this space. As always, thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Go Reds. I'm Josh Razauskas, and I will continue to bring you reality as I see it on all things your Cincinnati Reds.